haven't been streaming as much because I'm in fight camp, but I'll probably do a stream this Friday just to say, say goodbye to everyone. And well, before I fly off to Perth. But yeah, I'm looking to take off on the streaming as well. It's fun. It helps me interact with the fans, and yeah, it builds the charisma. It lets everyone know who I am behind the
Yeah.
gloves, behind the cage.
He's wearing a t-shirt that says never made.
I believe him. I think he's telling the truth.
All right, guys, welcome back to Never Made Weight. Today we got a blue chip prospect, already 3-0 in all UFC bouts. Navajo Stirling. Navo, how you doing?
Yeah, no, I'm good, brother. I'm good. Thanks for having me.
For being part of the podcast. You have a test coming up on the 27th, UFC Fight Night in Perth. How does it feel to not have to travel to the States for a fight?
Yeah, it's good, bro. I'm used to flying like 14 hours and then another 6-hour flight. So I think it's still a decent flight, like 7 or 8 hours to Perth. But yeah, it's good. It's so much easier for me and all my teammates who are fighting on the card as well.
So you're in
But
New
yeah, we're
Zealand,
used to
right?
it. What's that?
You're in New Zealand,
Yeah, New Zealand.
training out of City Kickboxing,
Like City Kickboxing, yeah, brother.
where we've seen a lot of greats come out of City Kickboxing in the last 10 years.
Yeah, yeah. And there's some new guys coming through. We got some
You
new
guys
guys.
always have new guys coming through.
Yeah.
How does it feel being part of that gym? Is that a weight you carry on your shoulders, or is that a strength?
Yeah, it's like because we're like so far away from everybody in the world. We're like our country is like 4 or 5 million in one whole country, and like there's only really MMA in this sort of like state in New Zealand, which is Auckland. Like there's MMA across New Zealand, but it's not that like largely sort of celebrated as much as it is in Auckland. And the fact that we've had like so many, obviously guys in the UFC, but obviously with Israel being champion, it's crazy. It's actually crazy, like all the stuff that they've achieved and that we're about to achieve. With like the next sort of generation of fighters coming through. Yeah, it's pretty cool, to be honest.
It's kind of I wouldn't expect that the whole of New Zealand doesn't celebrate MMA because it's a fighting cultures over there, right?
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is. It like a lot of street fighting. To be honest, but it's like not a very celebrated thing here. Like Israel and like Dan and that, they're probably more popular in other countries than they are in New Zealand. Like
Wow.
you kind
Wow.
of walk around and they just go like, "Oh, that's Israel," like no one really cares. Like they don't really celebrate you as much as they should, like they do in America or something. Like I've been with Israel out in Auckland, and I've been with Israel out in Miami or wherever, and seeing the praise over there for him, it literally blows my mind. I'm like, holy hell, it's not like this back home.
So Israel, Dan Hooker, Carlos Oberg, obviously Volk, right?
Yep.
Coming from a gym with all these good fighters, like, and you say there's a street. It's crazy because you say there's a street fighter culture over there. You mentioned before you've never been in a street fight,
Yeah.
but you've got jumped when you were 15. Can you
Yep.
tell me a little bit about that thing that happened when you were 15, and ultimately, given the fact that you've never been in a street fight, what led you to become a fighter?
Bro, it's so funny because everybody I went to school with, they know that I was not a fighter, like, or anyone that was in a street fight. I don't really like confrontation, which is funny enough now being a UFC fighter. And yeah, that was like a weird moment for me. It was kind of like, oh wow, like that was the worst beating anyone could have ever received. But you came out and I was like, oh, that wasn't so bad. You know what I mean? Like it was bad, but I was like, everything I thought was scary, it was not that scary. And yeah, when I got into fighting, I was like, well, I don't really like to get hit, but I've been smashed up before, and I've come back from that. So surely fighting will be okay. And so when I got into it, I wasn't too sure if I could take a punch, but I was like, oh, I've committed myself to this dream. I hadn't even had a fight, but I was like, I'm going to be a UFC fighter. I didn't even know if I was any good, but I was like, well, I've kind of committed. Like, I left my job and I went all in. I can't, I can't give up now. Like, I almost put myself so deep in it that I was like, oh, there's no turning back. So I might as well just see it through. And I was only like 19, 20 at the time when I got into it.
But how'd you
And
get
then,
into it? Were you an aggressive kid?
nah, I wasn't even an aggressive kid. I was just up to nothing. Like, I was up to jack. And I was like, I need to find something worth doing in my life. I used to work like a warehousing job, and I would work like 60 hours. But for me, that was easy, like, because I wasn't doing anything. I was like, I might as well make lots of money. And then I realized to myself, you know what? I work really hard. I might as well put this work ethic into something worthwhile. And so I didn't like team sports because I felt like I was getting passed to the side. And when I first seen fighting, I was like, I reckon if I go all in on this, I'll get something out of it because I'm not worried about teammates and all that. I just said to myself, if I could be the best fighter, beat everyone, that's got to account for something. And I knew I could outwork everyone just because of the way my work ethic that I had. And I don't even know where my work ethic came from. I just don't like to be late. I don't like certain, like, I like to be real punctual. Um, and yeah, that's how I've always been. And
Would you consider yourself nonchalant?
nonchalant, yeah, I would say I am.
Fans love those personalities.
Yeah, I would say like not in the cool way, not in the cool way that like there's some nonchalant like cool fighters. I would say I'm just like more of a nice guy, but yeah, I kind of like a bit of banter as well. I'm not very good at banter, but people banter with me or take the piss out of me, as we say in New Zealand, and I'm just used to that. And so I can have a laugh when people like make fun of me and stuff like that. It's like real normal in New Zealand culture to take the
Yeah.
piss out of someone.
Yeah. Okay, well, you have Rodolfo Bellato
Yeah,
on the 27th. Obviously, game plan is secret. I'm not going to ask you too much about that. But I'm going to ask you about his last performance. What did you think about that? The way
yeah,
that fight ended. Honestly,
yeah. I
what was
mean, I
your
remember
opinion on
sharing it. I remember sharing it on my thing because I was wondering what the hell was going on. I didn't watch the fight live, but I remember when I first seen the clip, I thought maybe like, oh, this guy he's having a freak reaction. Like maybe he got hit on the temple, or I seen him spazzing out on the floor. And
Yeah,
then
because one time, if you remember Shane Burgos versus um, Edson Barbosa, he kind of had a very late reaction
yeah,
and he got
yeah,
finished. He just started like tumbling backwards.
yeah. I thought it might have been like that. I thought like, oh, this is like a real delayed, like maybe something deep. It was like, maybe like he had like a brain bleeding or something. I was thinking real deep into it. And then I looked at the replay on the different angles, and I was like, oh, okay. He sold it up. I think he tried to get like a DQ win, and try to get the win bonus that way. But I mean, yeah, I think Anthony Smith said it best. Like, we're rolling around for 10 and 20K. It's not worth it. Like, you might as well fight and keep your pride and honor. But yeah, I mean,
So
that's behind him. That's behind us. He's obviously realized his mistake and he's got to come back. And yeah, I assume like a complete, dog to come out fight night. So that's what I'm prepared for.
yeah, for sure. He definitely has a challenge on his hands. This channel is called Never Made Weight. It's for everybody who's never made weight, as
Yep.
we've never made weight. So we want to like get into the nitty and gritty of fighting that, UFC is having a lot of fans every year, new fans, new fans.
Yep.
So
Yep.
we want to, have a platform to teach people about fighting because God knows, a lot of the new fans' opinions are terrible.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and because we're not fighters, we try to not like um criticize too much of fighters, obviously, but in that last one with Paul Craig, he gives me no choice but to say, in my opinion, I think, no offense, in my opinion, I think he looked for a way out on that. And I think because of that, a lot of fans are against him now. So I'm seeing all these TikToks, all these short form content saying like, hey, if you want to make money, if you want to kill it, on the 27th, put all your money on Navajo Stirling. It just seems like, obviously, there's analytics that come into it, and obviously people have to make a real prediction. But once the fans turn against you, it takes a little bit to bring them
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, it
It takes a
does.
little bit, very critical fans.
Yeah, I don't know why he did it, because Paul Craig, man, he's on his way out, and that was an easy finish for him,
He just
and
retired.
yeah, after that Paul Craig's last fight with Kauskas, I was like, man, that would have been him, putting him out on retirement, but he just blew it. And yeah, they've obviously fed him to me now, and making him travel to Perth. Um, so yeah, I mean, as far as my job, I'm looking for a finish. That's obviously where I'm at right now. I'm 2 decisions in. Um, everyone's looking for finishes nowadays. I feel like the decisions, I'm happy I got them, because it kind of given me some layers in the cage, and just like get a feel for it. Sometimes you go like a lot of first round finishes within a minute, and then you feel like you get nothing out of it. But I think after those, getting my feet wet, now I can really step on my foot, like stomp on a dime, and just send it, bro. And just hopefully put this guy out, put him out of his misery, and that's what I'm looking to do. And just yeah, I'm chasing a bonus, man. I'm chasing that bonus. I'm chasing the fans. I want to make a show for the fans, and I just want to be active. So I put them out, get ready to fight again. That's what I'm looking to do before the year ends.
Well, your first fight, Contender Series, you finished with a left hook. Crazy finish, by the way. Did you pop that guy's shoulder out with the right hook, or was that just
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. People were saying that after it. People were showing it on Joe Rogan's page, and yeah, I didn't aim for it. I was
yeah,
trying to hit his
cool.
head, and he slipped his head. But I saw him come back up, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna put my right hand to my head, and just like launch into this left hook. And yeah, he really like leaped into it
When you're
and knocked
striking,
himself out.
do you have you ever had a situation where you hit the opponent's block so much that you see their arms start coming down because they're tired or they
Yeah.
hurt?
Yeah. Sometimes you can punch through the guard. You punch through. Sometimes people will tap it. Um, Depending on how deep in the fight you are, you're just gonna hit into the guard, because the gloves are so small. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you're
And
gonna.
your last two performances, unanimous decisions, tough fights, great fights. I think it's really important, right? Something a lot of people don't talk about. Obviously, the fans don't give a shit about this, but the more
Yeah.
finishes you get,
Yeah.
uh, the more you maintain your brain health, right? Get in there, get the job done, and get out. I'm sure we're gonna see a lot more from you on that end. But I have a question that I was saving for Dan Hooker, but I saw you do something online, so I'm just gonna ask you. So people think, the dance the Maori people do,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
It's called Sivatau.
That's the Samoan one. Sivatal is
It Siva
I believe that's the Samoan sort of haka.
Yeah, okay. Maori people do the Haka.
Yeah, ours is just called haka. Yeah.
So are you considered Maori?
Yeah. 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 I'm Maori. My mum. So here's like something I should probably peel back for the Americans. I am obviously white, fair skinned. A lot of people call me White Izzy, because I'm like, I
Yeah,
kind of look albino black, because
and
I
you're a
have like,
big guy.
yeah, I have moldy features, which is like big nose, big lips, which is like quite prominent for the Maori culture. But my dad is also Welsh, so that's where the fair skin comes from. And so I'm like a half, or we call a half caste, or mixed race between Maori and Welsh, which is a weird combo because you don't really see it often. But some people think I'm albino black, which I'm not. Um, but yeah, that's why I look the way I look, which is obviously real different to people you see in America. Every time I go to the States or far overseas, people look at me like, "Whoa, where's this guy from?" You know, he looks interesting. And then they hear my accent as well. But yes, I'm Maori. My first name is not actually Navajo; it's Rongo Tehinia, which is a Maori first name. Navajo is actually my middle name, but I just go by Navajo because it's easier for everyone
Yeah.
to speak. But yeah, both my parents are Maori as well, even though my dad is white. He's half caste Maori. His pretty much three of my grandparents are like really dark brown.
The word you're saying, it's not Maori, it's Maori?
Maori, yeah, Maori. It's like
Maori.
MA. Yeah, you kind of roll the R. You roll the R. That's how you
Maori.
pronounce it.
Maori.
It kind of sounds like moldy, like a
Yeah.
moldy food or something.
Yeah.
But you're really rolling the R like Maori, ri. So,
Maori. Yeah.
but
Maori.
yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of people say
So the reason I'm
Maori.
uh
Yeah.
the reason I'm bringing it up, sorry for cutting you off, bro. I have this
No,
problem.
you're good.
I keep cutting everybody off. The reason I'm asking is because I saw you do the dance, the Haka, right? And then one time back in the day, I saw when Dan Hooker was fighting Dustin Poirier, they invited Dustin Poirier for the ceremony, and Dan Hooker was doing a Haka. So I was wondering, I'm like, there's Dan Hooker is white, right? Like
Yeah. Yeah,
he's still
he
white.
is white. He is white. I actually need to look that one up. Did he actually do a haka, or was it just
I don't know, but my question was, is it cool for the white people to do it too?
it's it's not like frowned upon. It's like if you live in New Zealand, like we have like in New Zealand they try to teach Te Reo Māori, which is the Māori language, alongside English through like elementary schools and primary schools and right all the way up through school. They teach it alongside the English, and so um, as well as kapa haka, which is what is just like the cultural dance and singing of songs and haka. That's quite normal to be practiced through schools. You know how schools have choirs? It's kind of like that, but they it's not forced upon children, but they have it on the side for them to do as like extracurricular and stuff.
Got it.
Um, but
So the
yeah, it's
cultures
not
are
frowned upon.
intertwined.
Yeah, they kind of just like they like that Maori is celebrated, no matter what race or color you are. It's quite like quite a lot of cultures are not frowned upon in New Zealand. Like I've seen in America, if you force your culture, cultures are forced onto like people who don't know it. They don't really like that and don't receive it well, and that's why the Maori culture is getting a lot of backlash in the UFC. You know, they don't really like it, which is fine. Like, but
Who
and then
doesn't like
like
it?
yeah, I mean I've seen like comments online, and like
Fan.
the Kiwis don't they get like quite upset at that at the Americans, but um, I've kind of just learned like it is what it is. I understand that not everyone likes it, but in New Zealand, like all cultures are like not just Maori, but Samoan, Tongan, you know, wherever you're from, you're quite everywhere. We're quite a very culturally diverse country here in New Zealand. Like if you come into Auckland City Kickboxing, you'll see you know, black, white, Maori, Tongan, Samoan. You'll see Indian, everyone from every race is in that gym, and yeah, it's just super normal.
Um, Leading by Israel Adesanya, I've see every time there's a new fighter out of the City Kickboxing, everyone's very like very supportive. Is that natural, or is that like something that's encouraged?
What, like supportive of?
supporting each other in the gym.
Yeah. Oh yeah, big time. Like the camaraderie at City Kickboxing is massive. It's massive. We got guys on the amateur scene right through to the pros and the UFC. We all kind of support each other. Even like Israel and me, we'll go and watch our local amateurs and we'll help them out. Um, yeah, like it's just pretty normal for us. Um, we actually got like a good set of weight range as well, like right from flyweight all the way up to heavyweight. Like we have like a lot of fighters.
Yeah.
Probably a deep middleweight, light heavyweight sort of roster at our gym, which is like cool as.
We haven't
Um,
seen many female fighters from City Kickboxing.
no. We had uh Michelle Montague. She was training with us, and she is the teammate of Kayla Harrison.
Mm.
She moved to America a couple years ago. She's actually making her debut on UFC Perth.
Perfect.
Yeah. So she'll be the first New Zealand woman in the
Beautiful.
UFC.
Amazing.
Yeah, but
Congratulations.
she's not actually a City Kickboxing fighter, but she did a bit of training with us when she was in New Zealand. And she's actually really good. She's pretty much like Kayla Harris, fights like Kayla Harrison, like really good grappler.
I'm
Um,
excited to see it.
yeah, she'll be someone to keep your eyes on. I think she was fighting for the PFL and got some really easy stoppages. So yeah,
Okay,
real
cool.
good grappler.
Solid. I love when the female fighters finish fights
Yeah,
because the under bets on the female fighters are always on the
huge,
plus
eh?
money.
Yeah.
I love
That'll
those.
be plus money, especially because she's low key. I
Yeah,
think she'll
yeah,
be
of
someone
course.
put on for a finish.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So one last thing I want to ask you about Dan Hooker's fight tournaments.
Yeah.
Have you been in attendance?
Yeah, I went to the second one.
It was the
It was
female
good.
one.
It was the female one.
Yeah.
It was brutal, bro. It was like, the woman, they tap into the motherly instincts and
Yes.
they throw down. I think his next one, he's got the convicts. I think this weekend. I think Dan was telling me. So I'm eager to see how that goes. Obviously I'm busy getting ready for a fight. But yeah, it's gnarly, bro. Honestly, Dan is like he's like the Joker or something. He's got
Have you
them
guys got
all.
any backlash over it?
I think I'm not too sure. Honestly, I think he's dealt with it, but it's getting quite normalized now. Like people are like, oh, actually, he's had two successful ones, and there's some good that's come from it. Honestly, I think it's maybe done well. He's run it real smart. He
So
knows what he's
sick.
doing. It's sick.
So
Like
sick.
it gets everyone involved, and yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I watched both of them. Dude, they're like an hour long. I literally sat here for an hour. I'm just watching them. And
yeah,
they're just like regular people. And that's what makes it so much better, right? Today in the fight world is the best time to get in the fight world. All the all the, ex-fighters or even current fighters, they have their own little promotions all over the country, all over the world. Fighting has never been as big as it is today. And I just love to be a fan, bro. I love to see violence. I love the sport of fighting. I love how two of the baddest, after they beat the shit out of each other, they can be so respectful. You saw like
yeah,
Canelo and Crawford,
yeah. That
after
was
a
sick.
fight. Class,
Yeah,
Much of your time, man. I don't want to take too much of your time. I know you're a streamer. Where can we
yeah.
find your stream?
Just on my Twitch, my name Navajo Stirling. Haven't been streaming as much because I'm in fight camp, but I'll probably do a stream this Friday just to say goodbye to everyone. And well, before I fly off to Perth. But yeah, I'm looking to take off with the streaming as well. It's fun. It helps me interact with the fans, and yeah, it builds the charisma. It lets everyone know who I am behind the
Yeah,
gloves, behind the cage.
yeah. Yeah, I think people are gonna grow to love you. Guys,
Yeah,
Navajo Sterling on, you said Kick or Twitch?
Twitch.
Navajo Stirling on Twitch. Sterling is spelled with I's. It's not like Aljamain.
Yeah.
Sterling is with the I's. Stirling.
That's
Check
the
him
one,
out.
brother.
Navajo, is there something you want to leave the fans with?
Man, I'm coming for the knockout, man. Under 2 rounds. Man, I'll just put that tip out there. So, yeah, let's go.
September 27th, guys, tune in. UFC Perth. Navajo is sitting at a minus 200. I know you guys hate odds. Navajo is sitting at a minus 200. Check it out. Make sure you check him
Sir.
out. Make sure you check out. Can you remind me of the female fighter from City that's training with Kayla?
Michelle Montague.
Michelle Montague. Check it out, guys. First female fighter from New Zealand. Navajo, thank you so much for your time, bro.
Yo, appreciate it.
Guys, thank you for watching Never Made Weight.
Wearing a t-shirt that says never made.
I believe him. I think he's telling the truth.